talking franchises here, bud.
All right, you're like, hey, it's a Monday. What's this franchise doing? Well, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're jumping the gun a little bit. We do have a regular episode coming out your way tomorrow where we talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, the Dead Man's Chest. Just Dead Man's Chest. And also, I believe it's called At World's End. I could be making that up, but that's the name of the next AEW pay-per-view. And so I keep thinking I'm wrong, but I'm right. Anyway, fucking let me bring in my co-host. We watched like 2 new movies this week, like in addition to the pirate shit. So let me bring in Logan Adair. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's going on? I know that At World's End is a Pirates movie, but that could be the 4th one. Stranger Tide is also
I think Stranger Tides is the 4th one, and Dead Men Tell No Tales is the 5th one. I'm pretty sure I know all this.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to doubt you. But hey, guys, I want to say I was like putting these movies in my 2023 list, you know, as I
did that
like
too.
To do. I kind of realized something. I might really like one of these movies. I don't know.
God, which one? I can't imagine watching either of these and going like, I really liked that. Like, I thought one of them was okay and one of them was watchable. Like, I didn't hate either one of them. But
can I tell you something?
Yes.
Something that I told you to stop doing is rating your fucking movies before we talk about them.
I know you told me to stop doing it, and I remembered you telling me that when I went to rate it, and I simply didn't care, Logan. I wanted to rate it.
But you do care because you don't rate the ones we talk. Like, you're not going to rate the Pirates ones before we talk about it. What's the difference?
Those matter more.
How? These are actual new movies.
Yeah, but
I don't care if you give Pirates 3 a 1 or a 2. I care more about if you gave Hunger Games a 2 or a 3 or a 3 or a 4.
Right. I'm sorry. If that really annoys people, I'll stop doing it. But I don't. It
probably annoys me way more than them. I feel like they don't.
You're
care.
the only one that's on Letterboxd. No one's reading my Letterboxd every day.
But all right, whatever. Yeah, you're true.
I get likes from Tim all the time from reviews I wrote like years ago. So clearly he's not reading my shit.
Everybody does that. Like when they watch a movie, they'll read the reviews of the movie.
You're right. I do that too. All right. Well, yeah, we did The Equalizer 3 because if you'll recall, when Henry was the host of the show, he forced me to cover the first 2 Equalizer movies. And so now that's just grandfathered in. Now Logan and I have to watch all of them.
Yeah, but don't be worried, guys. We're gonna cover that after Hunger Games. So if you're excited for us to talk about the Hunger Games, we are gonna do that first, even though that came out.
Do you remember? Do you remember last week, Logan, when you were like, "We have to cover Equalizer 3 and Hunger Games as separate shows," and I was like, why? And you were like, because people don't care about Equalizer 3. And I was like, I agree, but why can't we just cover Hunger Games first? And your response was, because Equalizer 3 came out first.
Well, if it was up to me...
That was like a real interesting look at the inner workings of your brain.
If it was up to me, every episode would be its own episode. Every movie would be its own episode. We would end every... I would either do every movie is its own episode or every franchise is its own episode.
Hey, if you want to re-edit the show that way on a separate feed, go nuts. But this is the format. I came up with it.
I know. But I did have the thought we should do Hunger, because if I was a listener, I would want them all to be their own episode. That's always how I think about it.
I disagree. I completely fucking disagree. If I was a total casual who just like tuned into the show like whenever they were covering a movie I gave a shit about, then I would want them to be their own separate episodes. If I'm a regular listener of a podcast, I'm listening to it every week. I don't give a fuck what they do.
Yeah, but that's the problem is we never get new listeners because you always think about everyone's just always listening to this podcast, which is not true. We should be trying to get new people. And the way to do that is have every episode be its own episode, but it's too late for that now. But I would want to be able to watch like, oh, I just watched Order of the Phoenix. Now I want to go listen to that episode. And I guess that would be the first part of that'd be before Half-Blood Prince. So it'd be easier to do that. But I just think that it would be easier if everything was its own episode. But I'm not proposing we change it now. That's just the way I would view it. But anyway, Hunger Games.
I don't see how it's easier to like triple our episode count. That makes shit harder to find.
No, I think it's much easier, and it's cleaner.
All right. Well, Logan,
Yeah,
I created this show when I was
I'm
like
not arguing with
29
you.
years old.
I'm not arguing.
When you're 29, you can create your own podcast and I'll follow the rules.
Hopefully, I'm dead and gone by that time.
Ugh, me too.
Anyway,
It's in like
we should
5
do the
years.
Hunger. You know what I thought about? Why is the Hunger Games not a real thing?
Oh, I mean, it's human rights violations, right?
Who
I mean, it
cares?
sort of is, right?
Is it-
Everybody's rooting for the great terrorist group Hamas right now.
aren't taxes a human rights violation? Why not do the Hunger Games
Instead of taxes.
instead of something? I don't know. I feel like I'm not the person who has to make the rules, who has to come up with this stuff. I'm just I'm just watching a movie.
This is the fucked up thing. Is there used to be Hunger Games. It was called reality television. It was Survivor, it was Big Brother, and now it's gotten so cushy. They're all using pillows. The game takes place over the course of 6 days. It fucking now we need to watch the Hunger Games to get that. The reason we didn't need the Hunger Games until like the year 2011 or whatever is because we had it on TV. And then everybody got so fucking pussy about it and we had to stop it.
Maybe I'm not saying we need to do the actual Hunger Games in real life, but I think that there should have been a bunch more Hunger Games movies. Like not even like old time, like with like the districts, but like they should.
They're doing it.
But I mean, we're not doing more, are we?
Yes, of course we're doing. Are you kidding me? Any franchise is an excuse to do more.
But this is based on a book. There are no more Hunger Games books. This is the last one, right?
Yeah, but I assume it's a launching pad. Like you could do anything from this.
Okay.
I mean, it ends not knowing if that Lucy Gray Baird was alive or dead. By the way, one of the most insufferable character names in motion picture history.
Oh, you agree with Andy? That was part of Andy Heron, Big Brother 15 winner.
Lucy Gray Baird.
I kind of liked it. I was into that character, but like we should have modern day Hunger Games movies.
You like Manic Pixie Tribute Girl?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny. Where'd you come up with that?
While I was watching the movie.
I like that. Much better than Darth Plagueis the Wise.
I think that review is hilarious.
No, it's good. It's good. But it's so on the nose, though. I thought I was like, that's the best thing you come up with. Like everyone's thinking that after this. Like this guy is like Anakin Skywalker.
But basically. You remember I came up with it before I saw the movie. Remember when you told me about this movie? I was like, oh, so it's like Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, when I read the thing, because I didn't know anything about it either. I think we discovered it together.
Story on a podcast, and that was my immediate reaction, and I was totally right. That's why I wrote that as my review.
All right, everyone's on the same page, though. It's not like you're not like a genius for seeing that.
Logan,
not that you think you are.
Never once when I wrote that Letterboxd review yesterday did I think it made me a genius.
All right, but I was thinking like, really, Daniel was the best he could do, like Darth, like an Anakin parallel. All right,
listen, anyway. I write about 100 reviews a week, and 98 of them are gold. So leave me alone.
All right, okay, and 2 of them have Star
Wars references.
But anyway, let's start with Hunger Games. Do your thing with like the release date and everything.
Oh right. Well, it came out this weekend. It's based on a book that came out during the pandemic that the writer of the original Hunger Games book wrote, Suzanne Collins.
And you've never read Hunger Games books, have you?
No, I've only seen the movies.
Yeah, that's what's cool about those movies.
Yeah. Now, Francis Lawrence, who directed this, directed Hunger Games 2 through 4. So he's now directed all of the Hunger Games movies except
he's the new David Yates a little bit.
He is. He's totally the new David Yates. Check out his movie next year, Hain Pustlers. And he so Gary Ross directed the first one, then he bailed. We got Francis Lawrence. He's there with us for the rest of them. Francis Lawrence to me is a hilarious director.
Wow,
because he directed so many insane music videos before he got into movies. I love music video directors. They're so weird to me. And this fucking guy, I mean, he didn't direct his first movie until 2005. Okay, it was Constantine. That was which everyone hated at the time, but is now kind of well liked. Like it's aged well. Um, but yeah, he's best known, I guess, for the Hunger Games movies, right? He did, I think, Water for Elephants, if I'm right about that, and then he did those 3 Hunger Games movies.
The only reason I know his name is because he has the same last name as Jennifer Lawrence, and I always thought that was weird.
Oh yeah, it is weird. Are they married, like fucking in a car, like Kristen Stewart, or are they
No.
related in a less carnal way?
Because she got with Aronofsky, she would have cheated on him to be with Aronofsky, right? If that was the case.
I don't know about that. That Aronofsky Lawrence relationship. I gotta hear more stories about it. It seems crazy.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Anyway,
what was it? Was she like turned on by the art? What was going on?
Yeah, probably. He had a pretty sweet stash at the time.
Oh.
So pretty good. He didn't like Darren Aronofsky's a weird dude though, because he's not like good looking. He's kind of a ginger.
But he's like a bald ginger. He like, doesn't even have hair, does he?
And he's also afraid of flying. Like he won't go on airplanes. That's a thing I know about Darren Aronofsky. So I always think about that in that relationship too. Like, was Jennifer Lawrence just like driving around with this guy?
I don't know.
Anyway, since fucking Hunger Games, Francis Lawrence has only directed 2 movies. He did Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence.
You know what I like to think?
What?
Aronofsky had the choice. They were like, do you want it to direct Noah or Sully? And he said, oh, give me Noah. I cannot do Sully. There's no way.
Oh, yeah, it's true. That would terrify him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be into that shit, man. Sully, Flight. Keep Aronofsky away from these movies. Yeah. All right, so he did Red Sparrow, and then he did Slumberland, which is based on the old comic strip Little Nemo and Slumberland for Netflix. And he's back here. You want to hear a rundown of some of his classic music videos? Because I love to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Gone Till November by Wyclef Jean. Incredible. Ghetto Superstar by Praz and Maya. That was on the Bulworth soundtrack. Okay, so Warren, back then, before he was a movie director, Warren Beatty's directing movies, passing off the music to this guy. Make me a little short film based on this song.
Mm-hmm.
Then I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. So he's working under Michael Bay there. Then I'm a Slave for You by Britney Spears, but he also directed Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. I wonder whose side he's on in that relationship.
That's funny.
Okay. Whenever, Wherever by Shakira. Okay.
Whenever, wherever.
Yep. Obviously, everybody knows the best line of that song is
my boobs or whatever.
Thank you. Though my breasts are small and humble, though you try to climb them like mountains.
You're right.
And then Skater Boy. All right, he said see you later.
Wow, this guy is an icon.
He does Jenny from the Block. So he shot that shot where Ben Affleck's touching on her bottom. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does Rock Your Body by Timberlake.
Justin?
He does Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. And then the only thing I see that he directed
Let's Get
well, the music video was Let's Get It Started. Obviously, if we were talking about the song, I would have said the proper title.
What was that in that we covered? Was it like Hot Tub Time Machine or something?
It was. In Hot Tub Time Machine, Craig Robinson goes back in time to the 1980s and chooses he performs a song at a party. It could be any song in the history of music, and he chooses Let's Get Retarded.
You don't want to be Gangnam Style. That would have really sent him over the edge.
Forget awesome. Gangnam Style, dude. Daddy, the underrated second side single.
Well, that definitely hadn't come out yet. I'm not sure if Gangnam Style had come out yet.
I'm pretty sure it had. All right, and then he did Bad Romance for Lady Gaga.
This guy has made a ton of huge songs.
What a king.
We didn't make the songs. Yeah.
But I know it's like every iconic song you've ever heard. You're like, you know who can visualize this shit? Francis Lawrence.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So he's back now doing this new Hunger Games movie. And He's got two new writers in tow. A fellow by the name of Michael Leslie. I have no idea who that fucking guy is. But the other one is Michael Arndt, who of course had an extremely promising start to his career, winning an Oscar for Little Miss Sunshine, immediately going and writing Toy Story 3. Everyone thought he was the next great writer in Hollywood. And then of course he got involved with franchises, which can kill any career whatsoever.
We
And
did Toy Story 3.
yeah, but that's like a real film.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I understand it's a franchise. You can see why they wanted him after that. But
Right.
I mean, I think he has sole writing credit on that movie. Like that's like his baby, and it's a brilliant piece.
Mhm.
And but his last credit before this was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So like
Okay.
his career was just swallowed up by Hollywood, and now he's franchise guy. What a shame that can happen to even the brightest of lights.
Why we liked The Force Awakens though? Why did this guy get no work after that?
I don't. I bet he was in writers' rooms. He was probably in like the Transformers writers' room, and then the Star Wars writers' room, and the Hunger Games writers' room. They had a writers' room. Did you know that?
No, I mean I assume so.
After Mockingjay 2 came out, Lionsgate put together a little writers' room. Like, let's come up with ideas for new Hunger Games movies, and then apparently they never ever came up with one until Suzanne Collins wrote another book.
That's interesting though that she had to write another book. She didn't do the JK thing. Now she just like flat out writes the screenplays, right?
Not everyone is a screenplay, and not everyone is a screenwriter. Not everyone is a screenwriter, and I would
Well,
absolutely.
neither is JK.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I mean, she should never have been one. She's bad
Yeah.
at it. I'll tell you what else she's bad at, writing plays.
Oh wow. I never
Yeah.
saw him.
Well, I read The Cursed Child.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was very poor and long. Um. Anyway,
The book is just the play, basically.
of course, it's not a book. Then
Oh, really?
it's
The
just
book
the
is just like
script
the
to the play.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And frankly, like I'd be more impressed by the directors of The Cursed Child. I've never seen the play, but I remember reading that play. I was like, I have no idea how they're gonna turn this into a play. This is a mess.
I heard it was bad though, right?
Yeah, but even if it's like a thing you can go to a stage and watch, I'd be impressed.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, Hunger Games. Let's talk about it.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Well,
What's it about?
Really,
Tell me what
really
it's about.
liked Lucy Gray Baird.
Lucy
Really.
Gray Baird. You enjoyed her?
Well, I mean, I guess you didn't, but I wasn't sure at first. But then I was like, she really is just like this complete, sort of just like mystery that blew through his life, and in that sense, I think she's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler.
I love Rachel Zegler. She's the only
Oh,
young
come on.
I do. She's the only young attractive actress on the entire internet that gets backlash, and it's because she's Jewish.
Do you think she's the only young actress?
I remember when she was in West Side Story and they didn't invite her to the Oscars, and she like complained about it on the internet, and everyone was like, this entitled bitch. If that was like Olivia Rodrigo having never been in a movie, they would have been like, yeah, why isn't Olivia Rodrigo at the Oscars?
Yeah, I mean it's a good point. I feel like people. You think it's because she's Jewish?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. But do you know who? Now I'm forgetting her name. Is it Chloe Bailey or Halle Bailey? One of the Bailey sisters.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
who they are? One of them
Mhm.
got cast as the Little Mermaid, and people hated that. I remember.
Well,
And that's because she's
that's
black.
that's casting a black person on a white part. That's a different thing. That's not her.
They just hate
that.
Rachel Zegler 'cause
We're mad
she's
at that
Jewish.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like
Like
Rachel
Halle
Zegler.
Bailey. Halle Bailey will be in that new Color Purple musical, and people will start to love Halle Bailey. I promise you. It just wasn't the role for her to break out in.
Well, Rachel has Snow White coming up.
Oh yeah, people are gonna hate that. A Jew as Snow White.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Is she a Latina?
She purports to be one. Her mom is Colombian. I know that.
Okay.
But, I mean, her dad's just a white Jewish guy, and she was raised Jewish.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not gonna fight you on that. You're probably right, but I really like Rachel Zegler, and I've never seen West Side Story. I just sort of like her as like a public persona more than anything. I think she's sweet, but
What are you
I
talking
like.
about? She's pro-Israel. How can you ever say that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know a lot about her. I don't know. Who cares?
If
But
she's then she's an evil bitch not getting radicalized by Hamas terrorists.
yeah, but I like her. I liked her in this movie. I thought the character. I got on board. What about you?
Okay. I hated her character, but can we talk about the movie?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, tell me what the movie's about.
It's about so much. Are you serious?
Well, I mean, really, it takes place about 65 years, I think, before the Hunger Games. Not before the Hunger Games, but before the events of the original Hunger Games book and movie. Um, and we see it's young Coriolanus Snow, who was Donald Sutherland in the original movies, the president of Pan Am. And Pan Am, by the way, too close to Pan Am. I always think about the old airline, Pan Am Airlines.
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
One thing I
So
liked that they did with him, I liked how he starts out with like he's just like a blonde guy, but then later like he like starts bleaching his hair and he becomes like, well, I have white hair. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it evolves from blonde to white over the. I didn't even think about that, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, how about the end of the movie when Donald Sutherland's voice came on? Did that alarm you for a second?
That was awesome.
I was like, oh, Donald.
I loved it.
I thought we might get a photo bomb at some point. Maybe
That'd be crazy.
that would be crazy. Anyway, or like a flash forward, maybe. Um.
I hate it.
It's Coriolanus Snow. He's like a young man. He's an actor no one's ever heard of, but I mean, he
I
looks
like
like
him.
Yeah, he looks like Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights, so he's all right. And he
Tom Blythe.
that's the name of the guy?
Yep. You really
All
don't
right.
know him? He played Billy the Kid.
In what?
Billy the Kid.
What's that?
It's a TV series.
They made a Billy the Kid. What was it on?
Apparently, it's on
Yellowstone
MGM
channel?
Plus.
There you go. There you go. That's what's going
Who
on
knew?
MGM Plus.
Holy shit! Did you know
Maybe
about
I know. I think it's the only streaming service I don't have.
that? I liked him here. I thought he was good though. You know what I was thought? I thought Austin Butler shaking in his boots.
Oh shit! Yeah, could have Elvised. Who knows?
Yeah.
So he has a family. His mom is Fiona Flanagan from Lost, obviously, and
I think that's a grandma. She seemed really old.
well, his authority figure is her, and then he's also got a cousin played by Hunter Schafer from I wanted to say Girls, but it's not. It's Euphoria. And you clued me in that Hunter Schafer was in the movie. You presented it to me like she was going to be like the star of the movie.
I was just reading the cast.
I would argue she's in under 10 minutes of this 2 hours. And
Oh yeah,
40
she's in
minutes.
3 scenes. She's in like
Yeah.
one scene at the beginning, one in the middle.
It
and then
is
at the end.
crazy. And it's like, I looked up her character. She was like, why'd they get like, it's funny that they have like unknowns playing the leads. I mean, especially the dude. And then you got like this actress that everybody knows in like 3 scenes. I looked up. She's got like a bigger part in the book. And apparently they imply that the character's like selling herself to make money for the family, like showing like how in financial dire straits they are. I don't know.
Oh, it seemed
all-
like
none
they
of
had a
that's
lot
in
of
the
money,
movie.
kind of.
Yeah, I know. I didn't sense that at all. Like in the movie, she's supporting them, and I think this is part of the book too. She's supporting them by like making clothes. She's like a seamstress or like a fashion designer or something, and they like that seems to make them plenty of money in the movie. I think they were having a rougher time of it in the book. I didn't
Are
read
they
the book.
not wealthy because of his dad?
You think they would be, right?
Well, they,
Like,
they say at one point he talks to
That's the whole arc, right? Like his dad's kind of like an evil asshole, and it's like we don't want you to turn into that guy. But he
she
sort of
says
looks
at one
up
point to
a
him,
little
he
bit.
says he talks to her name's Tigress. Do you remember her in the movie in the Hunger Games, by the way? She's like a tiger looking character.
What? She's in the Hunger Games?
Look her up. Look up Tigress, Hunger Games, yeah. But he says at one point, he's like, "How do I look? Do I look like Dad?" And she's like, "Yeah, but you don't have the blankness in your eyes like Dad."
Yeah.
And then
at the
end of the
end, when he
movie-
comes home, he goes, "How do I look?" And she goes, "You look like your father." And you could see
Great
in his
part.
eyes, like he's like, "I know what you're trying to tell me with that shit."
I thought
But-
that was an amazing part of the movie.
It was really good. It was well acted by both of them.
And I
I
thought
see
early
it.
on,
I see this fucking tiger lady.
I thought early on it was well acted too when she says that to him, when she says like, except you don't have like the terrible look in your eye like that, like your dad had. And it cuts to him and he has the biggest like puppy dog eyes ever. He just like looks so sweet in that moment. I thought the cut was beautiful, and his acting there was great.
The Billy the Kid, what's his name? Blythe?
Tom Blythe.
Yeah, he was impressive to me. Like,
Me too.
He's in basically
The whole
every
movie.
scene of the movie. I think every scene of the movie, and he really carried it. Like I was on board with this guy. I was cool following him. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
One thing about this movie, I say a lot when we talk about franchises. I get bored and I just want it to be over. I never felt that watching this movie. I wasn't bored. I even when I wasn't enjoying it
It's
as much as
long.
other parts,
I felt it was long.
It is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and you could easily cut 45 minutes out of it. But
She has like 5 musical performances, and you could probably cut it down to like 3.5, maybe.
I don't like this trend in movies.
Trying to sell music.
Yeah, we're shoehorning live performances of music into a lot of these movies now. And
Barbie.
I mean, sure, but that was like non-diegetic. I mean, like
Well, he has like 2 performances.
No, I know. Like that happens now in every movie you watch. Like one of the characters can sing, and then eventually you have to like sit and watch them sing an entire goddamn song. I mean, people want performances. Bohemian Rhapsody won Oscars. It ends with 30 minutes of just a shot-for-shot reenactment of Queen's performance at Live Aid. Like, that is what we're doing now.
But in these, we actually have the actors singing. These are way more impressive than Bohemian Rhapsody.
What do you mean these?
Movies like whatever else you referenced.
I didn't reference anything. It's just something I've noticed. Like, the things with these
Barbie.
movies,
I mean, I guess Barbie.
the things with these movies I noticed is like Hunger Games called that to mind. I'm seeing way too many musical performances lately. Every TV show I watch has has a character or two that sings every couple episodes. I hate it.
Yeah.
And I wish I could skip it. Anytime I see someone sing on Riverdale, I start fast forwarding.
I didn't know they sang on Riverdale.
Every Camilla Mendez, they all fucking sing. It's infuriating. Literally, like I think every character on that show, except maybe Jughead, had like a musical performance at some point.
You know what I love about Disney shows was they never sang on the shows, but all those actors had their own side music.
No,
careers.
I hate that too.
Well, they never
Focus on
invested
one
my
thing.
shows with the singing. It was always
Yeah,
like, but
I mean, I
Ashley
guess-
Tisdale has her own side career, but she's not singing on Zack and Cody.
Yeah, right. And you can ignore that if you want. But now they would have her sing on Zack and Cody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Equalizer 3, which we're going to cover later, like the thing I noticed is that action movies now all have subtitles. And it's because they know Americans don't watch them anymore.
Interesting. I think
so like 75% of all like action movies that are just supposed to be for action audiences have subtitles.
I think what started it was the John Wick. John Wick has cool subtitles that come in when they're like talking about John Wick, and we were like, "Ooh, we really loved that."
That wasn't the start. It doesn't matter whether we love it or not. I'm saying like this goes back to like when Steven Seagal movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies stopped being successful, they started making them direct to video, and they knew there was still an audience that would watch them, but they're all foreign. And so like every one of those movies became like, oh, here's that guy in like a foreign landscape, and we're going to see how he does there. And everyone else is going to speak the language except for him. And so almost the entire movie is subtitles. And it's really frustrating for that kind of movie because there's nothing I like better than putting one of those movies on and just ignoring it. But you can't follow them anymore without paying attention. Yeah, they all have subtitles.
Yeah. Well, we're not there yet. Let's not talk about the
All right. Anyway.
But one thing back to like I was unsure about his like his stance, I guess, or his like place within like money was Peter Dinklage tells him at one point, like, what are you going to do if you don't win this contest and get in? And he's like, well, I'll just pay for the tuition. I'll just pay tuition. No problem. It's like, so what are even the stakes right now? Like, I guess she would die if he loses, but with him, it's just like, well, he either gets in with the scholarship or he just pays his way in. It's like, all right, well, I don't know why I care necessarily about that, but.
Yeah, the protagonist of the movie is really Lucy Gray because you kind of know like where Coriolanus ends up. Like, and even though he's in the entire movie, you can see the arc coming from a mile away. It's the stuff with Lucy that you don't really know where they're going.
Right. And I really didn't. I tried to put myself like reading this book for the first time was probably a really cool experience. And also seeing it in the theater, having read the book was probably also really cool. Like getting toward the end when you know like what's sort of about to happen.
What about seeing the movie and then reading the book?
Well, are you asking if I want to do that? Because I'm definitely not going to do that.
Okay.
No. But seeing the movie on its own without reading the book, I thought was also a cool experience. I mean, I don't want to get into the spoilers part, but I thought everything was cool. Like he leads to them, like, because it starts out kind of in good faith, right? He's trying to save her. He realizes her strength is
right. It's
performing.
done in three parts. Okay, the mentor. I don't remember the other ones, but the first one's the mentor.
When the second one came up, I was like, "Ooh, that's good," because it came up like really late.
Yeah,
like, this is a fucking awesome.
I know. When part 2 came up, I was like, "How are they gonna have time for part 3?" But they did. Yeah, so part 1 is him being assigned to her. Like all the tributes get assigned to somebody from the capital to like turn them and like get them to
mentor
survive.
them in the games.
Right. And so what part of what he does is he like creates a real spectacle out of her, and he goes into the cage with her so she trusts him. And then it's like very quickly she's like, I think I want to fuck this dude. And he's like, hell yeah.
That made me sad when the one girl died, when her person killed her at the zoo.
I loved that.
That made me sad.
That was
I like that
so hardcore though.
I know.
The thing I like about the Hunger Games movies is like they're a little bit YA. Like they definitely tone shit down. You're not going to put the thing about like selling your body to make money in the movie, but they still go pretty hardcore. Like that was a long ass mushy conversation between like.
I was into it though.
The main I was too. I'm not talking shit, but like it was a long scene, like emotional scene between Lucy and Coriolanus, like between the cage. They're talking to each other through bars, and they almost kiss. And then all of a sudden, a girl just gets stabbed in the throat with a bottle off screen. Like if someone screams, you look over. That's what's happening. That rules.
Yeah, it did rule, but it made me sad because I liked her.
And then part 2 is the Hunger Games, and I'm fine with that. That's what I was most worried about this movie, was that it was going to be a Hunger Games movie with no Hunger Games in it.
The Hunger Games is only like 25 minutes of the movie, though. 30
but it's the whole middle chapter, and it's done well.
It's done well. I thought it was really cool how this is only the 10th one of like we get up to like the 80th one or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and it's like so janky. It's just in that little coliseum or whatever. It was so cool.
That's the thing. Like you go watch, like if I may can I bring up Star Wars without you calling me a nerd?
Yeah.
Okay. When you watch the prequels, like the prequel, it doesn't make sense that everything in the prequels looks better,
right,
than the stuff in the originals, because it came out like years later, and so. That's kind of what I was expecting to happen in this movie, but it's not. They really think about it. They make it a little more janky. There's just like a couple of big set pieces, like the snakes. Boy, those snakes, those were cool.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have a problem because they're
I love
CGI.
this. No,
CGI snakes.
I know they were CGI, but they looked good.
They were like all different colors, so like you weren't supposed to buy that it was a real snake. You know, it was supposed to
Totally.
be like a mythical snake.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to get on board with.
Yeah, like because they were like genetically engineered by Viola Davis.
She says like rainbow. She has like the line she says early on to
Yeah.
Coriolanus, and then later she says it, and that's how he realizes. He's like, "Oh shit, she's gonna do the snakes. I gotta save."
And then they set up the thing where the snakes, if they like know your scent, they won't fuck with you, and he sticks that thing in. It's a good, I gotta say, and it's probably because it's based on a novel. Like Suzanne Collins sat there and like really thought about this story, and like she's got something. If this was just like a writer's room of movie writers coming up with this, I don't think it would be nearly as coherent and cohesive. And
it really took me back to like when we were making. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It took me back to like early Harry Potter days.
It felt like a real movie, like with a story to tell, which
I really
unfortunately is not most movies.
Yeah,
no.
I was way into it. I gotta be honest.
So are you gonna give this like a 4 or something?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But that's what happens is he. Oh, did you like the part where in the games where she like puts poison in the drink but those bad guys leave and then like a weak girl comes up and she's like, "Oh, something to drink," and then she dies.
I thought it was like okay at the time, but what I actually really liked, I thought Ziegler was really good later on when she was like reacting to that, and like he's like, "You didn't kill anybody," and she's like, "Yes, I did. We're both murderers." Like, yeah, I liked that a lot. That was intense.
Yeah. So the whole thing is he saves her with the handkerchief thing. Yeah. And so he gets like expelled to this like prison place. He has to go like work at a prison.
Well, they want to send him to the military in District 8. But he bribes them to go to District 12 because after the Hunger Games, even though Lucy Gray Baird won the Hunger Games, then she like disappeared. So he knows that she's from District 12. He goes to like bribe them so he can get there and find her. Meanwhile, she's out on a stage performing every night. It feels like he probably could have just gotten that information without going.
Well, he didn't. What, that she was there?
Yeah, like maybe if he looked up like
she's not there every day. When she comes out, she says like, "I know you guys are probably never expecting to see me ever again, but here I am." Like it seemed like this was her first night performing.
No, that was her first night for sure. But eventually, it feels like he could have found a flyer from that venue that's like tonight performing Lucy Gray Baird, and he would have been like, "Oh, okay, she's fine."
So you're saying he should go live his life normally, and then in a few weeks he will hear about her?
Yeah.
But you're saying this knowing that she's okay and everything. In the moment, he doesn't know any of that. You can't blame him he's living with the information that he knows.
I guess
this is
right.
A crazy thing to put upon him. But that's what happens. He goes off, and
it would just, no woman could ever get me to join the military. I think I just couldn't relate to that.
But he was going, and he said, but instead of going here, I'd rather go here. He just like, it was like a military
and then that
military.
Dumb fuck joins him. LVP,
Sejanus?
Yeah.
I thought the actor was pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the future.
I didn't. To be honest, I was like, how'd this actor get in this movie? And I found out how. Logan.
Oh, really? What is this?
He is Rachel Ziegler's boyfriend in real life.
I knew her boyfriend was in the movie. I didn't know this was him.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes me not like him anymore. Flat out, I don't like him. I knew he was here because I saw like a post like, my boyfriend, he did so well in the movie.
I'll tell you what, Rachel, he didn't. He took me out of the movie a little bit.
I didn't mind him, but now I fully mind him. I hate him. That sucks. What's up, by the way? Coriolanus Sejanus. They love the anus name. What is this?
Yeah. Why wasn't it Katniss Everbutthole?
What was up with that moment where she's like, "This plant is called Katniss,
dude. And then like the music comes in, like remember her, like fucking awesome, right?
That was terrible. That was probably my least
It
favorite
was.
part of the movie.
It was. It felt like because that's not in the book. Like that is just them going like, remember the movies, hey?
That was so stupid.
Yeah, like they can't get a Jennifer Lawrence cameo in the movie because it takes place like 40 years before that character's born. But like, you know, that's what they do. Like they're like,
oh my God.
we usually call this swamp potato, right? But
I like Katniss.
You know what I prefer calling it? Katniss. And then the music's like bum 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 bum.
This is worse than the I'll call you Chewie moment. Like it's a little similar where we're just like dropping a name Chewie? We all know.
I don't know. Oh, is this from like Solo?
Solo, he's like, Chewbacca's too long. I'll call you Chewie.
Oh,
or something like that. But that actually kind of makes sense. He's like talking to the real character in that moment.
Yeah,
like,
I'm alone here at Ellis Island. You could call me Solo.
Oh God. Oh my God. Ugh. We forgot to mention, by the way, during the games, he kills somebody. He goes in to save Sejanus, and there's a guy who comes in trying to attack him, and Coriolanus kills the guy. But he gets. By the way, we haven't talked about Viola Davis at all. You like her?
I thought Viola Davis and Peter Dinklage in particular brought something to this movie. You're right. And Jason Schwartzman, the three of them, they really brought a legitimacy to the movie that it wouldn't have otherwise had. Like in their scenes, I felt like I was watching like a real film, you know? Both of them brought this energy to it. Like the Hunger Games is only like 10 years old. So we're only like 10 years removed from an enormous war between the districts. We see a little brief flashback to it at the very, very beginning. And both those characters to me, Viola Davis and Peter Dinklage, bring an energy where it's like they are still completely haunted by that war. They are in it. Like they have never gotten out of that war. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I want to bring up my favorite line of the whole movie from Jason. By the way, if I had to rank those three, I think I would go Dinklage, Schwartzman, Davis, probably. Davis was a little bit too off her rocker, a little bit for me. It was fun, but a little silly.
Davis, Dinklage, Schwartzman.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not going to give Schwartzman full credit because Schwartzman is kind of just doing Stanley Tucci.
Is he not supposed to be?
Well, no. When I saw the trailer for this, I assumed he was playing a young version of the Stanley Tucci character, but he's not. It's a different character. They're just exactly alike. And so
they don't have the same name?
No.
Like the same last name?
No, his last name is like Flicker or something, remember? Because he does that magic trick.
Yeah, but that okay. I thought that they were, but okay.
No, so that's I think like Jason Schwartzman isn't really bringing anything unique. He's going in there and he's doing what Stanley Tucci did in the original movies, which is great, and he pulls it off and he's wonderful at it. But I think Dinklage and Viola Davis are giving like real performances in this film. I called it a film. That means I care about it.
He's credited as Caesar Flickerman.
Yeah.
That's not the same guy?
You can't tell me that Stanley Tucci's name is like Al Flickerman.
No, that's Stanley Tucci's name. Caesar Flickerman. I'm looking it up.
He is?
In the Hunger Games.
He's Flickerman?
Caesar Flickerman. I don't know what...
Then they are related. It was something Flickerman.
Yeah, I think he's like a grandpa or something.
So you're telling me that Stanley Tucci's last name in those movies is Flickerman because his father at some point used to do a crazy coin flip trick?
I believe so, yeah.
That is wild.
Yep. There we go. But my favorite line, Jason Schwartzman calls a restaurant and he's like, "You're gonna have to cancel my reservation because the Hunger Games are going long." And they're like, they say something like, "Well, how do I know you're here?" And he says, if you see me, I'm there. If you see me, I'm there. I'm not there.
And I believe that was an ad lib. Like the camera wasn't even on him when he said
it was in the background. It was like off to the side. I thought that was so funny though.
It was funny. I laughed too.
Oh my god. Everything he was doing though.
If you see me, I'm there.
I'm not there. Oh my god. But So yeah, they go to like the prison place, and Coriolanus ends up recording Sejanus saying.
By
that
the
he's
way, I
gonna,
loved that recording device. Probably the coolest recording device I've seen on film since the Talk Boy in Home Alone 2.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a long time ago.
I know. And they haven't topped it.
That's wild. That's like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so he sends that in. But and by the way, I love that parallel also, but between him and his dad when we get the story at the end where Dinklage says like me and your dad talked about it, and like we as a joke, but then your dad actually sent it in like the same way he did, like behind my back to like prop himself up, to sort of.
So Dinklage has credit for creating the Hunger Games, but
only because the other guy died, basically, though.
nah, but it was Anus's dad.
Yeah, but I love that whole parallel.
Do you think anyone calls him Anus for short?
Yeah, definitely got bullied.
Choreo. Everyone calls him Choreo.
But the bullies, like when he was a little kid, they definitely picked on him.
Yeah.
Totally. By the way, I love when we show little versions of actors. They have to have the same haircut. Did you notice that the little boy had the same exact haircut as an 18-year-old Coriolanus? Pretty weird. Great. But yeah,
like it reminded me of like a pup named Scooby Doo.
You mean Scrappy Doo?
No, when I was a kid, there was a cartoon called A Pup Named Scooby Doo, and it was basically just Scooby Doo, but they're all kids. But it was like Fred was a kid who wore a little handkerchief. Velma was a kid who wore a turtleneck.
They're like Muppet babies.
Yeah, sort of.
I never knew about that. They made a baby version. That's cute.
It's good. I mean, I liked it as a kid. I don't know if it's still good.
But then you can't be attracted to Velma and
what? Watching cartoons isn't mostly about being attracted to the people.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be on my side. What the hell? God damn it. I thought we were gonna bond just then.
That's hilarious.
But basically the thing is they're getting ready to escape, right? And the one girl from the beginning who I didn't realize at the beginning was like the mayor's daughter or whatever, but she is. But then Coriolanus, like the girl is like, I hate Lucy Gray.
Who's the mayor's daughter?
Remember at the beginning when Lucy Gray gets called up and she puts the snake in that girl's shirt?
oh, that's right. It's because they explain this. Like her boyfriend cheated on her with the mayor's daughter.
Yes, it all comes back together. It's really good.
And meanwhile, I think that's slut shaming. She should be putting the snake in the guy's shirt, not the girl.
But I think she had a like the guy was like, she had a better chance to do it with the girl, like walking up there. But
he's the cheater.
I know, but this is reality. That's how they are, though.
As someone who has slept with a lot of wives, Logan, if one of those dudes put a snake in my shirt, I wouldn't take too kindly to it.
But this is reality. This is what happens. Like if people cheat on each other, the girl is mad.
This is reality. I'm talking about real reality. You're talking about the Hunger Games.
But like if a girl's boyfriend cheats with another girl, they are often mad at the girl a lot of the time.
But they shouldn't be.
Well, they obviously, but they're really tapping into what's real here.
Well, but I'm just saying, it immediately made me judge Lucy Gray Baird a little bit.
That's fair. That's a good point. I didn't really think about it, but that is fair. But then here they're getting ready to escape, and that girl again is like, I hate Lucy Gray, and so she's gonna leave, and she's like, I'm dad.
I'm with you, mayor's daughter.
No, come on. But then Coriolanus is like, that bitch. He grabs a gun and he shoots her. And then so there's like and then they kill the boyfriend also, I think. And then there's like a whole plot where they try to cover up the murders, but then his friend who he ratted out earlier gets busted, and the other guy gets busted. And then awesome ending where it's Coriolanus and Lucy Gray. They're out in the woods, and he's like, man, it sucks I had to kill those 3 people. And she's like, 3 people? I only know about 2. And he's talking about,
like, one of those people was the former me.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm talking about my past self, sugar. Don't even worry about that. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she disappears.
She's like, that's if I think she left because that was such a pretentious thing to say. She was like, I can't be with this dude.
That's funny. Yeah, either way, either you're a murderer or that's real and you really killed your past self, and I can't like that either.
She's like, I'm a writer, I'm a musician, like I can't be with someone that dumb.
I like that line she had. It really sort of brought the character together, where he's like, so in the character or in the song, what is What's Up with Lucy Gray? Because she has like a song all about Lucy Gray.
She's
And-
always singing. There's one part where they're having like a lovely picnic, right? And she's like laying on his chest and she's singing that song to him. This is the part you're talking about. And
Yeah.
and I remember watching that scene just thinking like, boy, this would be a lovely day out if she would just shut her fucking mouth. Like if I was on a
Come
date
on.
with a girl and she decided to just sing a song while we were lying on the grass, I could not be with that person.
But what if you're with like Rihanna and Rihanna's like singing you a nice song in a field?
She wouldn't. She definitely wouldn't. That would never happen.
Okay. But
And what's she gonna sing? Work, 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 work.
she can sing anything. That's just what she can sing. She can cover a song. She can sing Adele.
What? Is she gonna sing a song about
Hello,
Rihanna? What
it's
was this
me.
fucking?
I
You're-
was
you're doing-
wondering if after all, she can do whatever she wants to.
I can't believe you're not with Hello.
Well, it's like a beautiful song.
Of all Adele songs.
It's like a sweeter one, I think.
I guess you're right. Well, you could have gone with someone like you.
Was it gonna
But,
go rolling in the deep? That's
No, of course
too
not.
heavy.
I get that. Yeah. Or rumor has it.
Oh, I hate that one. That's
Yeah.
the worst one. That's
That
the
one does
worst one.
suck. You're right.
Rumor has it. Holy shit. But anyway, but he's like, what's the song Lucy Gray? What's that about? And she's like, I don't know. It's a mystery, just like me. And I was like, yeah,
Oh,
you are.
and I
fucking
was
mystery.
like, you two deserve each other.
Oh, come on. But then that plays into the
He's
whole
like,
ending.
he's like, I killed my former self, and she's like, I'm a mystery, and I'm like, go live together. I don't care anymore. Fuck you.
But no, I think that works at the end because he doesn't even know if he killed her or not. Because he's like, oh, because that's a mystery. Like, what happened to Lucy Gray is a mystery itself. I kind of like it.
No, I like that, but I don't like the lead up to it. Like where I start liking the final sequence is that part where he's like kneeling in the woods and he literally like he's completely
shooting?
lost. Yeah, he's completely lost the plot. Like his paranoia has taken him over and he's just not him anymore.
I was with it throughout. I wouldn't say I really had to get back on board or anything. It was really long.
I was never not invested. I just liked some things more than others.
Yeah, I mean, I think me too, but it's tough for me to really point out things that I didn't like the sections.
Well,
that I didn't
anytime
like.
she was singing, and that's like 20 minutes of the movie. And it
I-
should all be cut out, every single piece of it.
I
Oh my
never
god,
swayed
that
from
part where she's like singing on the stage and it's a song about him because his name's Coriolanus Snow, and she starts going like pure as the driven snow. I'm like, oh,
Are you talking
Fuck
about
off.
the one where he wakes up in the hospital and she's on stage like it's like the night before? And it's like we're getting like the TV shot.
No, I think this is when he is like looking
that the
for
most.
Sejanus.
Okay. I think that was my favorite one when we just get like the stationary shot of her like on the TV and everyone's just watching her. That's probably my favorite performance.
Who gets volunteered for tribute? Uses this opportunity to put a snake in a girl's shirt, and then immediately gets up on stage and starts singing an original song. Like Lucy Gray Baird is the LVP of this movie. It's not close. It would be a better movie with a different character. I think the same. I think use the same narrative. I like the narrative. I was invested. I was engaged, but a different character.
Well, it has to be a love story, right? So it has to be
You
a
know
woman.
that you can do a love story without like a manic pixie dream girl, right? Like she can resemble like a normal human woman.
But the whole thing is it has to be a woman, okay? 'Cause it
I'm
has to
not
be-
saying it shouldn't be a woman.
Okay, I'm just saying. And she has to sing or do
No,
something.
she doesn't.
She has to do something performative because the whole thing is Snow makes it into
you know
that.
who's very performative? Katniss Everdeen. She sung, I think, like for 3 seconds once.
But she has to be so performative that it gives Snow the idea to turn this into like a spectacle. Because that's the thing about this movie.
She doesn't need to be performative. Like Snow can take one look at her, immediately fall in love with her, and come up with that idea. It doesn't need to come from a song. It never
No, disagree.
does. A song never needs to push a plot forward in anything.
Because if the thing is he just meets her and he loves her, then the plot is how do I get this girl to win the Hunger Games? But it starts out the only the performing part, which is where the end goes, where she says where Viola Davis says it was a huge hit and now we're going to do like next year and the year after all because of you, which is like sort of the Oppenheimer part of this movie where it's where he sets the bomb off and now he's like, oh shit, now the rest of the world is going to happen and it's like sort of because of me.
Wouldn't the winner of the previous Hunger Games be like a huge star now? Like, why can't he find her like right when the Hunger Games ends? And then she immediately just emerges not having been hidden at all. Like, I don't understand that.
I think she disappeared.
She at the end of the movie, Viola Davis implies that she like completely has disappeared off the face of the earth. Like maybe she's dead and like nobody really gives a shit. Like if the winner of the Hunger Games is dying, how does the Hunger Games become such a big deal?
I'm not mad that she went missing. There at the end of the movie ends with them trying to go into hiding because they killed the mayor's daughter and they're trying to get the hell out of there. Of course, she's not going to show back up and be like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Okay, but like she shows up on that stage when he gets to District 12 and she's just like, "Here I am, I'm performing some great music for you. Never thought I'd see you again, but I'm back." She's not hiding at all.
Well, they hadn't murdered anybody then. Then she's just like,
but why couldn't he find her? It's just an excuse to get him to District 12 so that they can do the rest of the movie.
He couldn't find her. So like, I'm pretty sure right after he wins, it's like, they're like, oh, you did the snake thing. Now you're being sent to this place. I don't think he had any chance to go look for her, really.
No. That's why he went to go look for her. That's why he wanted to go to District 12, because they had said no one knows where. And then Lucy he finds her immediately.
What's the problem?
That's the problem. Then that wasn't an arc. That's just to get them together.
Wait, I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you mean he's looking for? Like he goes there and then he sees her. That's not the end of the movie.
No. That's so that they can do the end of the movie. You need them in the same place so that they can do the end of the movie. So they cut corners.
That all makes sense. He goes there because that's where she
Logan, is that a satisfying storyline? If you were watching a TV show and it was
I'm actually really confused.
Okay, listen to this. No. Hear me out.
Yeah.
You're watching a TV show, okay? It's a procedural, okay? In the storyline is about a football team that wins the Super Bowl, okay? The star quarterback goes missing. You don't know where he is. Oh my God, the star quarterback of the Super Bowl is gone. So a detective decides, I'm going to go to his hometown and go look for him. And then the end of it is he gets to the hometown and he's there. Is that satisfying?
Yes. If then there's another
That's a satisfying arc?
If then there's another hour where they do some other cool shit, sure.
I don't know.
But if that's leading to the end of the movie as he finds her at the bar and then they end up happily ever after, I don't give a shit. But if that's like it's part leading of 20 parts in the movie. But you can't
do Act 3 if he's not in District 12. And the only way to get him to District 12 is to say that this character is missing. But that was never really a thing.
It was for her. By the way, oh, never mind. I was thinking, why aren't there two winners? But Katniss and Peeta were the first ever two winners, weren't they?
And also the other dude from her district got rabies. There was
like George Wells at WrestleMania 2.
Good call. There was a Chekhov's bat bite in this film. Like early on, they say like, "Oh, he got bit by a bat." Look, it's getting worse. And the whole time, I'm like, when's this dude's mouth gonna start foaming? And then they do. It's like no one knows what's happening, and then the close up, his mouth is foaming, and Coriolanus is like, "Oh my God, he has rabies."
Wouldn't it be worse if nothing?
There's a lot of dumb shit about this movie. I liked it. It's good. It's a 3, but I mean, let's not go crazy.
Are we at the end? Is that the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh no! The end.
Go ahead.
Peter Dinklage dies. He kills Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
I have a question though. Like he comes in and he's like, "This is all Sejanus's like items. Here you go." And why does Peter Dinklage just decide to drink one of those things?
He's haunted. The Hunger Games is now a success. He created the Hunger Games. He can't live with that.
Oh, he knew it was poison, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a much more sense. I thought he was like, "Oh, this looks tasty," and then he drank it, but then secretly he
What?
poisoned it. And that's what I
No.
thought the ending was. I was like, "What is that?" But he did. He
He's
knew
like,
he
of
was
all the
dying.
things in this box, this little vial of liquid looks delicious.
It was like I was like, what was that? But he knew he was gonna die in that moment, and he drank
I
it
think
anyway.
so. Yeah.
That's way better. So, yeah, all right, like, that's the ending.
All right. Well, I saw it by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't
Why?
bring a snack or a soda. It was all business, baby.
What? I brought 3 bags of Sour Patch Kids.
Man, I would have loved
I bought
that.
them at the gas station on the way there. I never fucking
Hell yeah.
You got that would be like $6 for 1 bag. Instead, I got 3 for
No, it's
about the same
incredible.
price.
There's a candy store, like a legitimate candy store next to the movie theater I go to.
Wow.
I stop there sometimes. Anyway, I enjoyed this movie. It is the best Hunger Games other than the first 2.
Yeah,
It's
maybe better than the first one.
No. One of those movies has Jennifer Lawrence in it, and one of them has Lucy Gray Baird. So I'm gonna go with the Jennifer Lawrence one. I don't know about
I'm
you.
confused which one is supposed to be the bad one there.
Here's a hint: the bad one is the one that sucks.
Come on. I agree. I'd probably rank it 3rd. I don't know if we should we rank them right here. I might go 4 stars though.
No,
I really liked a lot of this movie.
That seems an overrate to me. It's a 3. But it's not a mess, and it's not boring. It's a story that you
not
can
even close
sit
to
with.
a mess. The opposite of a mess.
I agree. It's a well put together film. Francis Lawrence did a nice job. I hope he gets more work that's not Hunger Games related.
Or he should do the next Hunger Games. I don't care. I'd be very excited if they announced it.
You want this dude to be the new Yates.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was worried. Those Mockingjay movies suck.
I know, but this was really cool though. I really like the direction.
I saw an interview with him where he says he doesn't really like the Mockingjay movies. Like he thinks it was a mistake to cut them in half. And he said when he first read the book, the book is this book. It's really long, and he was like, I think I got to do that again. I got to cut it in half. And then he was like, no, I can't fucking do. I got to figure this shit out.
I think we could have some like real great movies if they never decided to cut movies in half.
I agree. Yeah,
but Hunger Games.
Endgame and Infinity War. That's 6 hours. They could cut those 2 movies into a really good 3-hour movie.
3 seems short. 4.
No. Here's what you do: cut out the 26 characters that no one gives a shit about.
But that was the whole thing with those movies to get the butts in the seats, was we got everybody.
That's to get them in the seats. But now that they're in the seats, re-edit them into 3 hours. I bet you get a better movie out of it.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. So Topher, get on that.
Yeah, that should be your next project, Toph.
So I would rank them Mockingjay going from worst to best. Mockingjay 1, Mockingjay 2, this one, Hunger Games, Catching Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
My MVP, I'm gonna go Coriolanus, Tom Blythe.
Coriolanus
carried the whole fucking movie. He's in every scene.
He's good. No, I'm gonna go with Viola Davis.
That's crazy. She's in like 5 scenes.
It doesn't matter. The second she shows up on screen, it gives the movie a legitimacy and deepness that is missing from the rest of it.
Fair enough.
A depth. I shouldn't have said deepness. It's not really a thing. Depth.
My LVP. I gotta go young Coriolanus. I just thought it was so funny. He had the same haircut. Couldn't get past it.
Yeah.
Or I thought about going Dill, the girl who drinks the poison and dies. I thought her.
Yeah, what a dumb shit.
I thought it was really funny, the death too. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna curl up in a ball and die."
Why don't you go with the Down syndrome girl?
Oh, she got toppled by the snakes. Remember?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, snakes, and then the snakes all crush her.
Yeah, she really went down.
Oh,
And what? And LVP's Lucy Gray Baird.
that I hate that.
And if it's
honestly.
not Lucy, it's her fucking boyfriend.
Okay, that's fair. I kind of want to do that actually. Yeah, fuck that guy. And he's like way uglier than she is.
Uh, that's great.
Especially on the picture she posted on Instagram. They're like at a restaurant. She was like, my boyfriend. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing?
Is that really you're following
Rachel
Rachel Ziegler on Instagram and you're like,
What was
I
on
could be
Twitter?
that guy. It's not. Wait, what's that?
X.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I follow her, but I should get on that. But yeah, fuck her boyfriend.
She
And
does. I'm sure she happily does.
oh, let's change the subject. Ryder Strong has not seen this, and he hasn't seen any Hunger Games movie according to his
wow,
letterbox.
good for you, Ryder.
But Andy Heron, the winner of Big Brother 15, gave it 2.5 stars. What are you doing, Andy? And he said, Lucy
that
Gray
feels
Baird
right.
is such an annoying name to hear for 2.5 hours.
It is.
Whatever.
Lucy Gray Baird.
All right.
Lucy Gray. Sorry. Yeah, most of the people I follow on here gave it 3s, 3.5s. A couple critics gave it a 3.5, so it's getting okay reviews.
All right. Well, I'll gladly be the first one to go 4 then.
You're not the first one. I follow somebody named Emily that gave it a 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
not your sister.
not my sister. No, I think someone who listens to the show.
Yeah, I know Emily.
Yeah, she follows both of us, so she definitely listens to the show.
Mm-hmm. All right, equalizer time.
Yeah, let's do it.